SA Tourism's marketing videos depict a paradise country of mountains, beaches, wine and friendly people.
Maar het was helemaal niet daar. Dat is hier in Zuid-Afrika.
But recently, the world has seen a different side to South Africa. Trigger-happy police, fallen idols, scenes of unrest and anger. South Africa surely sometimes looks less a must-see holiday destination and more a struggling country, sliding backwards, deeply troubled and best avoided. But is this really the state of brand SA? I went to London to find out. Year in, year out, the readers of the Telegraph Group's newspapers and websites vote South Africa and Cape Town as top places to visit. Travel editor Charles Starmer-Smith says it's no secret why this is.
I think people tend to go for a couple of weeks and take in safari, city, beach, wildlife and try and pack it all in, and that's what South Africa can offer.
The United Kingdom is by some distance South Africa's largest source of foreign tourists. Close to 500,000 people from here visited South Africa in 2012 alone. Hundreds of thousands more came from the likes of France, Germany and recently even China. Collectively, they spent a whopping 76 billion rand last year. That means that South Africa's image as a safe and peaceful country to visit is very important to the economy. And the image needs work. Down at the Henry Holland pub in Marylebone, we asked those nursing a pint what might put them off visiting South Africa.
It's a little bit lawless, isn't it? Or, you know, the policing is robust and the crime rate is also robust.
I'd be very careful where I went, I think, yeah.
Probably about the crime.
But some have heard more.
Heard it's an awesome place, beautiful. Got some friends down there.
We've got a lot of South African
Cape Town,
friends.
Johannesburg. I don't think crime, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's made out maybe to be worse than what it is.
So clearly perception of crime is a problem, but how damaging is it?
Our people are uniquely warm, very welcoming.
The man tasked with marketing South Africa is Thulani Nzima. He says most potential tourists realize that much of South Africa is safe and that other countries like America also have gun problems. It's the range of options, he says, that brings people to the country.
If you want to spend less, South Africa doesn't have to go and discount itself, but it will give you experiences in line with your budget. If you want to spend a little bit more, there is something in line with your lavish desires to spoil yourself.
With foreign tourist figures up 10%, even in tough economic times, and impressive growth from new territories like China, Nzima has lots to be happy about. SA Tourism has different, sophisticated marketing messages for different countries.
南非其实它是一个特别美丽的地方。
这个东西的头跟我头一样大。老公，我来了
Oh, I've wanted to do this my entire life.
Que a África do Sul tem para oferecer.
E recomendamos a alguém que quiser vir à África do Sul que não se vai arrepender, porque
But some say that's all well and good, but these days value for money shouldn't be forgotten.
I've always considered a good value for money destination, but the lack of competition on flight routes, the inflation of hotel room prices after the World Cup and during the World Cup, gives an impression to people who've not travelled before that it's expensive. Only when you get there and you see on the ground that there are 14 rand to the pound as opposed to 11 a year ago, and your money goes much further than you would think, only then do you realise, but you've got to get the people out there first.
And the race for tourists has moved online. TripAdvisor.com works closely with SA Tourism, looking at analytics and crunching data to get a sense of where potential tourists may come from and when interest is high.
The number of travellers looking at South African accommodations has actually increased a lot year on year. So when we looked at 2011 versus 2012, it grew at 36% year on year in terms of the worldwide audience looking at the accommodations, which is an incredible growth rate.
High-end travel magazine Condé Nast Traveller has long punted South Africa to its well-heeled readers. The sense now is that increasing global interest in Africa may be playing into the country's hands.
I think for first-time Africa visitors, people who've not been to Africa before, it supplies it's a soft landing. It's not as wild or as unstructured or as untamed as parts of Kenya or Tanzania or Uganda or Rwanda.
The message seems to be that those who come to South Africa often return and are seldom disappointed. The trick is getting people here in the first place, fairly cheaply and easily.
They want to get results from their short period, and they want results for their money. And it does deliver. It really does deliver on that.
For every SA tourism video that the world sees, millions probably wish they could come to South Africa. But the damage of terrible scenes like this, and this, should not be underestimated. Ben said, London.
News that moves. eNCA.com.